What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to your stimulus package update and daily news report for Thursday, December 2nd. So we have a lot that we need to cover today. First, we're going to talk about more cash payments. There are more cities, more states that are planning additional payments. I want to break down what's happening there. We're going to talk about the stimulus package. I want to give you an update on that. We're going to go over how Democrats are fighting over $150,000. Yeah, they are fighting over this. And we will get to a new bill that's coming from Republicans. So that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. If you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Now, here's what I can tell you. For months, I've been saying this exact same thing, that cities and states, when they realize how much of a budget surplus that they have at the end of this year, more are going to come out and propose new legislation to provide payments to their residents. Well, that's exactly what has happened over the past month or so. We have seen other states and cities give back. States like California, they have done it. Tennessee is doing it. Maryland, Michigan, Vermont, New Mexico, Florida, Colorado, even Texas and Georgia have all been providing additional assistance to their residents. Well, we're not done there. What I can tell you is this month, on December 18th, there will be a new application window that will open for residents in St. Louis. You could potentially receive up to $500 in direct cash payments. This will go to 9,300 families. We also know in Santa Ana, California, residents will be getting $300 prepaid Visa gift cards or debit cards. Now, this is going to go out to roughly 20,000 families. So, a lot of money is going to be distributed. We are not going to see large $1,400, $2,000 stimulus checks, but I understand that's fine. Let's provide something to the people that are hurting the most. Now, what you need to keep in mind is even though you may not live in one of these states that is currently providing stimulus to their residents, you may not live in St. Louis or Santa Ana, I understand that. But just keep in mind, as more cities and states start to implement these different stimulus programs, what's going to happen is other cities, other states are going to follow suit. And as they do, your city, your county, your state could be next. So make sure you're staying on this channel. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe so that as these new programs come out, I will fill you in on them as we get that news. So make sure you go ahead and do that. Now, let's get to the discussions from this week from Congress. Here's what we know. On Monday, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell and the Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, they both agreed that we will not have a government shutdown after this Friday. It's not going to happen. Yesterday, the talks went in the complete opposite direction. And then this morning, what we're hearing is that House Democrats have actually put out a bill to fund the government until February 18th. Okay, just a stopgap bill, just a continuing resolution, get us another couple months. That's all they want to do. Now, in this bill, there's almost no changes to the bill made to this continuing resolution. However, there is one change. They want to include $7 billion for Afghanistan evacuees. That's the only change. Now, with this bill, even though it could get bipartisan support, it would need all 100 senators to agree to schedule a quick vote to avoid a government shutdown. Simply because we've waited so long, tomorrow evening at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that is the last minute they can pass this before a government shutdown. Now, the expectation is even if we see a government shutdown, it would possibly only be for a day to maybe 2 days. They'd get this agreed upon before the end of the weekend. That's the expectation as of right now, but just understand that we may see a shutdown. However, it might not really impact that many people. Okay? Simply just the timing of this shutdown. So that's what I can tell you right now. One thing I do want to address though is that Democrats, they do not want to put pretty much what Republicans are trying to do is Republicans want to make sure that there's a provision inside this bill that there will be no more vaccine mandates. They don't want a vaccine mandate in the future. Now, however, the House hasn't confirmed that this is something that they're even willing to accept. And Democrats at this point don't even want to put this on the table because they don't want it to seem or feel like that, yes, they're gonna block themselves in and that there will be no vaccine mandates, because they always want to have that option. And whether you are for vaccine mandates or against it doesn't matter, because the key here is to have options. And from a lawmaker standpoint, if you limit your options, it limits your ability to do different things. So I don't think they're going to do that, but could they go back on the vaccine mandate that currently is in place? Yes, they could. But at the same time, federal judges are pretty much blocking this anyway, so it doesn't really help. So right now we could be at a standstill moving forward, but again, we will see, and I promise I will fill you in on those updates as we get them. Today, we also have reports that Senate Republicans are going to introduce a new bill. This new bill is called the Protect American Taxpayer Dollars from Illegal Immigration Act. This is going to be introduced by Senator Thom Tillis, Tom Cotton, John Cornyn, and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. The purpose of this bill is actually pretty simple. It is to bar the use of federal funds in order to pay up to $450,000 per child in settlements for crossing into the United States illegally. The reports over the past month have been that the Biden administration was planning on paying up to $450,000 to families, and that is $450,000 per child, if they were separated from their family at the border. Now, these are people that crossed into the United States illegally, and then the Border Patrol would separate the parents with the children, right? Here's the issue. Under the Biden administration, they are potentially going to pay up to $450,000 per separated child. Now, when Republicans heard about this, they were extremely upset for a couple reasons. One, they're making the problem at the border even worse. And two, we're going to use taxpayer dollars to pay for people that came into this country illegally. One lawmaker said, and I think this is very, very accurate, but this one lawmaker said, and I quote, "When you look at the issues at the border and throw in the possibility of getting $450,000, more and more people will attempt to get in with their children. Think about it. If they get in, then chances are they will be let free in the U.S. But if they are separated from their children, then they could potentially get $450,000 for each child. This is life-changing money." So, I think that's pretty accurate. Now, I don't think I would do that as a parent. I wouldn't come into the U.S. thinking, oh, if I get in, great. If I don't, I'm separated from my children. Awesome, I'm going to get $450,000. No, that's probably not how I'm thinking. But when you come from a poorer country, you come up from Central America, and you're trying to get into the U.S., if you get in, great. If you're just let in and say, okay, come back on this date, or we're going to stay in touch with you, yeah, probably not going to happen. But what if you come and you get separated from your children, and then you get $450,000? You know what that's going to do? That's probably going to bring more people to the border. And that's the issue here, and that's what Republicans are saying, is we are going to make things worse if we set this precedence that, okay, you will either be let in, or if you get separated in that one off chance, you could be awarded up to $450,000. So that could be a big change. Something that we did hear this morning over the Human Infrastructure Bill is that that Democrats are actually fighting over the SALT relief provision. Some say that they want to set a higher threshold to be eligible for the entire SALT tax provision. Others say there shouldn't be an income threshold at all. But the reports this morning have Senator Bob Menendez. He wants to set the unlimited SALT deductions at $550,000. Senator Bernie Sanders believes that lowering this down to $400,000 is more than enough. This is that $150,000 that I was discussing. This is where Democrats are fighting. If somebody makes $400,000, okay, or less, they can get the unlimited SALT tax deduction of up to $80,000. That's per year. But if they make $560,000, they don't get it. If they make like $500,000, it could potentially be a portion of that $80,000, maybe $50,000, $60,000. So that's what they're fighting over. They're fighting over the top 2% of income earners, people making between $400,000 and $550,000. That's what Democrats are fighting over right now. Not the people that are making less than $30,000 per year, not the people, the families making less than $100,000 per year, not children. They're fighting over the top 2%, people making between $400,000 and $550,000 per year. How crazy is that? That's who they're fighting over right now. But that is where we're at. What I can tell you is that according to the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, they say that more than 90% of this benefit will go to those in the top 1/5 of the income spectrum. And multiple senators do agree that the SALT deductions must be included into this bill if it's ever going to pass. So, what I can tell you, there are going to be continual discussions. I don't know where they go from here. What I can tell you is that the reports over the past week are showing that the American people are getting more and more frustrated with this bill because of the way it is being put out there. There is not a lot for the American people. There's child tax credit payments. There's child care credits, right? There's things for families. There's a lot of stuff in this bill, mainly for families. But remember, they changed it from the American Families Plan to the Build Back Better Act because it had that kind of bad connotation that it is just for families, when technically that's still kind of what it is. So, what I can tell you is that the polls coming out right now are showing that more people are being frustrated, are upset with this bill, and more Americans would rather see this bill just be scrapped and start entirely over. But let me know down in the comment section below, do you think this bill should pass, or do you think they should scrap this entire thing and start from scratch? Let me know down in the comment section below. Let's get into some COVID news for today as well. Biden is actually asking businesses to proceed with the vaccine mandates after the Omicron variant was found here in the US. Even though judges have ruled that this is unconstitutional and they have ruled in favor of the groups that are seeking to block the mandates, the Biden administration is still coming out saying just move forward with them, because like what happened with the eviction moratorium, the Biden administration comes out knowing full well that they can't legally do this. They come out and they specifically said that we're just going to try to buy some time until we're told we can't do it. That's probably what's happening here. The only difference with the eviction moratorium is that if you don't get evicted and then you do get evicted, okay. The problem with the vaccine mandate is if you go and get the vaccine because you're mandated to do it, you can't pull it out of your body. And I addressed this probably about a month ago, is that people were trying to take a bath to pull the vaccine out of their body, and it doesn't work like that. So the only way for a vaccine to leave your body is over time, at least according to experts. Now, we also know the Biden administration will make an announcement sometime today requiring a negative COVID test at least 24 hours before a traveler comes into the United States. This includes U.S. citizens. This also includes people that are vaccinated. You will have to have a negative COVID test 24 hours before your flight. Okay, it needs to be within 24 hours. If you do it 28 hours before, then you have your flight, you will actually have to take another test, and it would have to show negative. They're also going to be distributing more than 25 million at-home COVID tests. This is supposed to go to underserved communities. So this isn't to provide new at-home tests to a Walgreens, free tests to a Walgreens that you can come and get in, Seattle, Washington, or New York, or California. That's not what they're trying to do. Underserved communities. So they also plan on ramping up efforts to vaccinate the country. Here's what we're hearing. All health experts believe that the best way to fight this virus is to get the vaccine and to continue masking. Many have said that until we have a higher vaccination rate, many workers will not return to work And until this happens, we cannot return to normal. But the good news as of today is that we did have a jobless claims that came in lower than expected. We were expecting 240,000 new jobless claims, and we only had 222,000. So we're right on track with the pre-pandemic levels. So experts say that is good news right there. But that is what we know as of this morning. If you have any questions on any of this stuff, please put your questions down in the comment section below. Again, I just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your Thursday. If you enjoyed today's video, do me a favor, go ahead, hit that like button. Also, consider subscribing so I can keep you up to date on everything that's going on. And I'll see you guys on the next one.